And with this kind of preparation, Gamble says his people will be able to handle any situation.
Yes, sir. We have our plans made, and we think we'll be able to keep traffic going on our major thoroughfares. We'll be able to respond and assist in the neighborhoods and assist on the bus routes, and we feel like we'll be able to keep it going.
And while Gamble was talking inside, his people were working outside to get ready for the possible ice and snow. About 100 pieces of equipment has to be ready in case it's called out, say at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. And so preparation by the city street department, as well as activities of Lone Star Gas Company, provide two threads in the larger fabric of the preparation in Dallas for what could be the city's first real taste of winter in a long time. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.
He was stopped on a routine traffic investigation by one of our traffic officers.
In North Richmond Hills?
Right.
Yeah. How much was it marijuana, I presume?
Right.
How much did he have, you know?
Approximately 350, 400 pounds.
Do you have any indication of where he was going, or whether he was leaving town with it, or perhaps it was destined to be sold there, or anything?
He didn't give us any information on it.
The architects, the environmentalists, the sociologists, the urban planners, the economists, conservationists, the do-gooders, the busybodies, all have been having a field day, taking pot shots at the highway program. The crowning blow was the failure of Congress to pass the 1972 Federal Aid Highway Act. This complicated our already confused financial situation, and for all practical purposes, the Texas Highway Department today is out of federal highway money.
Reform is the word we hear most around the Capitol these days. You might recall 2 years ago I explained to you how legislators had to support bad legislation wanted by the Speaker of the House, or the Speaker would not allow their local bills to be passed. That and many other things are now being changed. However, one legislator has cautioned that this is a dangerous time because bad laws can also be pushed through on a reform bandwagon unless that's guarded against. Preston Smith leaves office as governor in 1 week. However, he wants people to know he is still the governor, and tomorrow and Thursday he will make speeches including budget and other recommendations that he considers very important.
industrial centers, creating a burden on their highway networks.
Yes, any time that a school has a responsibility of raising $10,000 for a new set of uniforms, it presents many problems. The money has to be usually raised by either booster clubs, or the students have to have projects or fundraising activities, which of course takes away from our program where we should be teaching music and fulfilling our obligation as a band rather than raising money to buy the uniforms. So it does present a big problem.
How long does it take in all cases to get to him?
These cases, activity doesn't necessarily have to occur between a live
Thank you. Terrific. Listen to Vote For Me. Don't vote for me. April 1st, 1973. That elects me. Town full. Bye.
Take it to the store, Charlie. To the store. Take it to the store. Okay, go get your rag. Right here. Bring it here, Charlie. Get the rag. Get the rag. Bring it here. Bring it here, Charlie. Charlie, come in. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down, Charlie. Now show them how you sleep at night. Show them how you sleep, Charlie. Charlie, show him how you sleep tonight. Stretch out. That old boy. You got her too quick, didn't you?
Well, I was disappointed that the official would not go to the timer and ask his opinion about the situation. The buzzer did not go off, but that would be all the more reason why he should ask, because he certainly wouldn't know the time situation. The buzzer never did go off. So, and that's what I went on the floor to ask him, to be sure and ask the timer, and he said, I don't need to ask him, I know what the situation is, and that ended that.
Isn't there a rule in the NCAA rule book that covers situations like that?
Yes, there is, but that official took the responsibility upon himself to assume that he didn't have to ask the timer. The timer went to him and told him the time had run out, and he did not want that information or was not seeking that information, and he made the decision, and it was his decision alone.
Do you feel that you have any recourse, or does it now become just a dead issue?
Oh no, it's in the history books. We got beat 74-73, and no matter what we say or do, that's over with and done. I just want us to get ready to play a good basketball game against Kansas State, and then go to Lubbock and be ready to open our conference race. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what our team is trying to do. And I think that we'll come out and play a good ball game tomorrow night.
Ray, we haven't played since the Big 8 tournament, which was ended on December the 30th, so we've had about a 10 or 11 day layoff.
This would seem to present some problems for you, wouldn't it?
Well, of course, at this time of the season, I think while you like to have a little break in the schedule, you would still prefer to keep them playing, you know, especially if you're playing pretty well.
You have 3 starters back from last year's team, and I believe that their scoring averages were all about the same. What about the 2 new ball players that you have?
Well, we're starting right now Steve Mitchell, a 6'10 center, Ernie Kuzner, 6'5 forward, and Jerry Thurston, 6'6 forward. At the guards, we're going with Bob Chipman and Danny Beard. So we feature balanced scoring. We don't have anybody that's average in high double figures, but we like to think that we have good balance in our scoring, or at least this is what we attempt to get.
What about in playing SMU? You going to play a deliberate game, or are you going to run, or what?
Well, I think like most coaches, I like to do whatever is available. For example, if we can run, we want to get up and down the floor with it. If not, we'd like to be able to go to the offensive end with some kind of organization. So we try to hit the happy medium, and I think this is what most teams try to do.
Hello, Mr. Ross. How are you?
Fine.
I understand that your band uniforms are about 10 years old. Do you think it's about time that you got some new ones?
Oh, yes, definitely so.
You have a club called Band Parents Club. How much money have they raised toward new uniforms?
Well, about a third. I'd say around $3,200.
How much more do you need? How long is it going to take you to raise that money?
Well, we need about, say, about 8,000 more. It took us about 6 years to raise 3,000, so you can take it from there.
Okay, is it a hardship on the kids to pay rental for these band uniforms?
Yes, it is, very much so. When you have a boy or girl that can't buy lunch and then ask them for $750 for a rental uniform, you know, it's kind of hard.
It would be wise to be sure that one has the flu by checking with his physician and follow his instructions. But there is no specific drug for the influenza. all one can do is simply treat the symptoms and be on the alert for any complications that may occur due to secondary bacterial infection, such as pneumonia.
Okay, it's been said that doses of vitamin C would help a person who has a cold or flu. Is this true?
This has not been established to the satisfaction of many scientists.
Common then?
This particular strain, depending on the particular agent you're talking about.
Would London?
Next few weeks, anyway, until we see what's happening.
How do
The hairs on a man's head may be numbered, but on this head, don't try counting. The blonde mop belongs to a political comic who calls himself Good Dave Moeller. He's having his strand styled to fit his image as a town fool candidate, a tongue-in-cheek office he's seeking April 1st. Don't vote as usual, Dave says, and I win. According to him, this three-tailed hairdo is exactly what a town fool needs to get elected. So if you spot a pointed head and hear bells on a beard ringing, you'll know it's just Good Dave on the campaign trail. Martha McIntire, Channel 8 News on the Move.
Charlie Brown, like any working man, occasionally goes out for lunch. He doesn't wear pockets, so he carries his cash in a brown paper bag, makes a quick dash to the store next door, and picks up the makings for a ham sandwich. On busy days, he dashes back to the filling station on Skillman in North Dallas and daintily disposes of his noontime repast. That's how I met Charlie Brown, assistant to auto mechanic Jimmy Robinson, and quickly learned that this was no ordinary dog. Charlie picks up rags, wrenches, and other items when his master calls for them. Like a child star born in a trunk backstage, ever since Charlie was born in the service station, he's earned his keep. His owner is justifiably proud of his assistant, whom he says he never had to train.
No, I just started telling him to do things, and he'll do it.
What else does he do?
Oh, he does most everything. He carries the garbage out for me, and he goes up and down the neighborhood, and if there's a wash rag blowed off of the line, he'll pick it up and bring it home. I got a wash tub full. I don't know who they belong to. I can't carry them back to him.
You seem to be awful proud of Charlie Brown.
Oh, I wouldn't take nothing for him. I've had him since before his eyes was open.
You ever been offered money for him?
I've been offered $400 one time. Me and him has been to Florida and back 3 times on our vacation. He goes in the car with me when I go and comes back with me.
You ever considered putting him in the movies?
No, I don't think he's that smart.
Before leaving, I asked Jimmy if he had any children. Nope, he said, not even married. I drive a Cadillac convertible and Charlie eats steak. It's just me and Charlie. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judy Hanna.
First day of a session traditionally is for pomp and formality, and there was that today with Secretary of State Larry Teaver calling the House into session and Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes presiding in the Senate. But as soon as the ceremonies were out of the way, newly elected House Speaker Price Daniel Jr. put the House to work, and they worked until 6 o'clock this evening, first on housekeeping bills, then to a radically reformed set of rules. There were several attempts to put even greater restrictions into the rules, But the administration insisted the Speaker's rules were a balanced package that would provide for more openness, more democracy, and more independence for each representative. And the proposals carried unanimously, being approved by the old Dirty 30 members as well as the leftover friends of Gus Mutcher. Meanwhile, the Senate adjourned after its formalities, but those included the election of Dallas Senator Oscar Mozzie as President pro tempore, which puts him in the succession of government right after the Lieutenant Governor. His family was on the platform as Mozzie took the oath from Lieutenant Governor Ben Barnes.
It's all part of the company's commitment to ensure adequate service for the small consumer. And the load the small consumer puts on the company's gas reserves is evident in cold weather like this. Clay Townsend, a Lone Star technician, told me the gas flowing through this station, which serves downtown and East Dallas and also Irving, is about 3 times what it normally is for a winter day. But Lone Star says it has enough gas in reserve to see the company through this cold spell without affecting its service to homes and small businesses, provided, that is, the polar ice cap doesn't come down this way. But since it appears something is headed this way, the Dallas Street Department has its battle maps out and is preparing to go on the attack if the sleet and snow should develop. R.R. Gamble, the department's assistant director, outlined for me the contingency plans which have been drawn up. Sand has been stockpiled throughout the city, and nearly 100 tons of salt is available, and orders have been prepared to get it all out onto the city streets.
Person tell if he has a serious.
Clerk will now call the roll of the members-elect of the House of Representatives of the 63rd Legislature of the State of Texas, according to representative districts.
District number 1, Ed Howard. District number 2, Joyce.
Hold it one moment, please, Mr. Clerk. I owe you a great debt of gratitude, and your service will go down recognized.
Machine operator, C.H. Petrie. John Hanna III, Carla Kimmel. 13, John Allen.
In the election process, and first and foremost, that's where he worked to bring a person involved in politics, and Oscar indeed.
My family and one's duties of the office of President pro tempore of the Senate. The office of President pro tempore of the Senate. Of the State of Texas. Of the State of Texas. And will to the best of my ability. Will.
Back up. You're talking about whatever, about the stockpile right there. Tell me something about it.
Okay, we also have our stockpiles located at vantage points around the city where trucks don't have to come back to one place. Each one will have a designated stockpile to load at for certain routes. Which
some winters, none at all then.
Beg pardon?
Some winters, none at all.
That's right. Some winters we don't put out.
All the 5 years. Standpoint of weather conditions.
I believe about 69.